turn your liabilities into assets. What do I mean? Most of us or most people see children as liabilities, which they can be financially, right? Because they don't bring nothing to the table. As parents and adults, we had to take care of the little ones. But I've noticed that majority of parents usually see their kids as like a liability. Everything seems to be burdensome, scheduling, trying to figure out with their work schedule and their kids' schedule, and just entertaining their kids. Just parenting seems to be like a burden, and the kids seems like they're like a burden, right? That they're just dragging through life. And I can relate to that because obviously being a parent, sometimes having a child that, especially when you're a young mom or younger, obviously, if you're over 25, you're not that young, but being a younger mom, I feel like my son is sometimes like just too much for me to handle. But then what helps me really manage parenting and shifted my attitude was not seeing my son as a liability, but seeing him as an asset in my life. So that way, every time I make decisions for him, every time I have to make sacrifices for him, it doesn't feel like he's a burden to me. But if anything, he's a gift in my life, because so many people wish they had kids. We have women that's going through fertility issues, and they long for having a child, and they have good jobs, they're married, they have the typical foundation to raise a family, yet they're unable to conceive. And so when you look at that, there are people struggling to have a child that one is so bad, and you are blessed enough to be able to conceive and have a healthy child, then that child is a gift from God and is a blessing. And you shouldn't treat them as if they're like a burden to your life. Because, first of all, if you plan to have a child, then that's really good because you wanted the child. But if the child was an accident, meaning you were not planning to have a child, but you got gifted with a child, but now you have to treat the child as a gift because you know that to procreate you need to have sperm and egg. And so if you participate in act that can is that as a result you can have a child, then that's your responsibility to take care of that child and to do whatever there's adoption, there's so many different options besides abortion. I'm pro-life, okay? I can't bring myself to do something like that, but to each his own. There's different circumstances. I hope, I don't know. That's just another topic. But so you have a child now and you could do adoption, or you have to be responsible for that child, and you shouldn't see them as a burden, as if they're limiting you from being the person you want to be, from pursuing your career, from sacrificing your time when it comes to working, or if you're younger mom, you wanted to go out with your friends. That's part of being a parent. You have to sacrifice and bring and make the kids' needs above yours because they're solely dependent on you, right? Because they can't raise themselves, they need you. And so, by shifting your perspective of seeing your children as burdens, as liabilities, to help you make parenting easier, shift your perspective to seeing your children as assets in your life. And that will make everything so much more easier. It will make the emotional burden, the financial burden, the everything that it comes, all the challenges that comes with parenting, it will just make the transition, everything just so much more smoother if you simply um shift your perspective from seeing them as liabilities to assets, to gifts that you've been blessed with, and that you get to do a life with someone. And now you have to make better choices for the best interest of you and your children and your whole family as a whole. Okay? So children are blessings.